Hi, Lissa. We had to do a restart, so I'm just going to lead back into Melissa sharing her story of hope. So, Melissa, do you have a story of hope you'd like to share with us today?
Yes, I would. My story of hope is about a certain product and a certain um, wonderful tool that came into my life. There are times where we just need a little boost and we need a little bit of assistance to get us through things. And my hopeful story is for everyone. And it's that there are solutions in life. And sometimes they come in a way that aren't direct. And I was able to find a wonderful solution that I would love to share with everyone.
Great. I'm so glad that you want to do this because I don't usually talk product on the podcast, but sometimes I see these amazing things that are so holistic and so life-changing. And when I get an expert that can get on and talk about it, I will grab them and say, you've got to come share that with people. So what is the name of the product that you use? And I know it's pretty new in the US.
It's very new in the US. The company just launched May 1st, and it's called Healy. It's a wearable device, and it is frequency wellness. And it is truly changing lives. One of the things that it's able to do is it's able to scan your body. It's a small device, and it's able to scan your body to look for imbalances. A lot of people who may be more in tune with maybe their chakras, the meridians, they would absolutely know exactly what I'm speaking of. But this isn't just for the spiritual, in that aspect. It has wonderful scientific, wonderful white papers behind it, if you want to call it that, where this device uses frequency therapy to help unblock certain things in your life. And for health, not just, like unblocking a trauma or something like that. I'm specifically talking about if there is something going on in your body, it gives you bioenergetic support. And it's like I said, I can't even stop saying the word life-changing. So I really am very excited about it.
So for those people who are listening and they don't understand what a frequency is and how you can read that, how you can, because I've dealt with frequencies before, and I've literally worked with people in other countries, and we're able to still get a reading, and it's phenomenal. So do you want to explain a little bit about what the frequencies, how those are, and how they work?
Yes, frequency therapy is believed to regulate the voltage potential, and and I'm also making sure I say it correctly, and it goes to the underlying cause of something. So we don't want to say that it heals anything. We don't want to say that, it's, we're not calling it a healing tool, but it is, in the United States, it is a Class 2 medical device. It has been cleared by the FDA, and it has been cleared to help with pain. So that is number one, what it does. And the other thing that I can mention that, in addition to that, it also helps, like you had mentioned, I have used it personally long distance. So I've been able to have a scan done on me without being there. And that sounds ridiculous, but it's very, very possible from personal experience. And now using my device, I am able to help people relieve their pain. And I'm not doing it. Let me just clarify that. The device is actually taking the frequency, this small microcurrent, And it goes through the body, it finds where there are issues, and it helps either unblock it, it helps relieve it. I'm looking at like a little wave. I'm a visual person, sorry. And so the waves of it help, the blockage release. And a lot of people have been, they've been affected in the positive way by relieving in addition to pain, stress and sleep. Last night, I have to laugh. So let's see, it's been about a year and a half ago, I was really dependent upon Ambien. I suffered through all my hormones and, those issues that we've talked about in the past. Through all of those issues, I had severe sleep issues. Like if I slept more than 3 hours a night, I thought it was great. Like I was having a good night. And my physician, my alternative medicine doctor, he prescribed Ambien short-term, knowing that women have a higher risk for heart attacks. And he basically said, I'd rather you get some sleep when you need it than be at a higher risk, because my mother had vascular disease. So through that process, I became hooked on Ambien. Like I could not get off of it. So I finally found another alternative through, it's actually called Somaderm. It helped me get rid of the Ambien, which, you just Google that and you'll find horrible stories about that. But the Somaderm helped me get off that. So 6 hours of sleep helped me get from 3 to 6 hours of sleep. And I thought, that is the best thing ever. Last night is a true example of, one of the ways that this has helped me. I went to sleep, no drugs, nothing, that people use to go to sleep. I put my head on the pillow, I fell asleep. I had these wonderful, kind dreams, lovely dreams. I woke up, same position, 8 hours later. And, I woke up feeling refreshed and just ready for today. And so little things like that, we think that they're little, but in the scope of things, it's like, think about when you have a fresh, relaxed body and a recharged mind, the things that you can conquer in the day. It's amazing.
I love that. One of the things I want to talk about is when you talk about frequencies and you talk about being able to do them long distance, somebody really smart once explained this to me. He goes, "Look, you use them every day. You use long distance frequencies." And I'm like, "No, I don't." He goes, "Do you turn on your TV? Do you turn on a radio? Because those are frequencies that are set out from one point and literally shoot around the world, and you're able to receive them somewhere else." He goes, "Why couldn't your frequencies work the same way?" And I'm like, I guess they could. Like, that's why it blows me away when people start talking about science. Like, what? Like, it's really the limit. It's unlimited what we could be doing with things like this. So for me, what would be something that because you're a longevity expert, that's one of the things that I love about you the most, is your ability to create longevity and help people thrive at any stage of their life. So when you're working longevity, how would you use this for people that you're coaching longevity wise?
For longevity wise, number one, of course, would be simple things: sleep, nutrition. Part of this, in the Healy device, there are different programs that you can use the frequency for, and part of the programs include like beauty, skin, and inside of that, actually, there are things that you can be very specific with: longevity, vitality. Sleep, which, I keep going back to sleep, but sleep is so important. And there is also what's called DNA. It's a digital nutrition app. And what that does is it actually will, you'll hear some people might say, oh, well, it helps with vitamin C or zinc. It's not that it gives it to you. Our cells are made up in such a way that they vibrate. And what happens is over time, our cells become smaller and they vibrate less. And so the Healy is able to be very specific in different frequencies and go in there, and the vibration, it helps expand them. And I like to think in my visual mind, it vibrates the oldness off and to create that new cell inside. But it's not creating the new cell, it's just reactivating those cells within our body. And, you know, we hear it all the time with, you know, mostly topical things, you know, oh, you know, when you exfoliate your skin, you rejuvenate your skin. And if you think about that internally, the same thing happens internally as it does externally. And so it's, you know, my whole platform is longevity and vitality. And that started, of course, from caring what I look like, but it's also caring what you feel like. And you can look wonderful on your outside, but feel like old and, you know, yucky on the inside. So this helps the programs with the Healy. It actually helps go in. It's very specific, and it works with your internal cells, and with the voltage of each one to help make them feel younger. And but yeah, it's just like that's in my visual mind how it just vibrates the old cell, and that cell that's in the middle just, you know, is like a really young, not a teenager though.
So what kind of people benefit from this?
Actually, all people benefit. It is classified for adults. So although it is not used or recommended for children, each parent or practitioner, they can use it at their discretion. And I do know of some parents and some practitioners that do use it on their own children, and it has been very beneficial for different things, such as some of the things that medication would normally be given. I don't want to say any, you know, I don't want to make it seem like it's healing or curing anything, but where medication may have been given before, between diet, the Healy, you know, people are no longer giving medication to their children, which, you know, I don't know, there's so many people that are parents, you know, you don't want to give your children medicine or medication, especially their whole life. For adults, it's been really beneficial. For me and my platform, it has been really beneficial with helping to detox, get rid of, you know, I would just say the old feeling within inside, and help rejuvenate your younger inner self. And not to sound woo-woo, I mean, it is not like that, but it clearly is working on your cells. It's working internally to just help wake you up in the bigger, broader picture. And people are really, really feeling the difference. And I will talk about a friend. She's the one who really introduced me to Healy. And one of the things that kept coming up for her, and this is just this week, it kept saying facial, and it kept saying tooth, and she's like, what the heck, you know, is going on? And so she skipped over it. So what it'll do is it'll scan, it'll tell you the top 5 programs within the platform of Healy to use, and then you can do another scan per platform, and it breaks it down even further. But she kept skipping over it. Well, I think she said about 2 to 3 days went by, and her jaw was just, I mean, it looked like golf balls on the side of her mouth. And she had to have emergency dental work done. And the Healy told her, you know, this is an issue, this is an issue. And she neglected to listen. And I was just sharing another story, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
But so a friend of mine, he has been having issues with his, I'm pointing to like my stomach area. And he, you know, his diet is pretty good, but, you know, not the best. And so he's been having this terrible pain, and we ran a program on him yesterday, and the thing that came up was digestion in that area, the small intestine, gallbladder, fatty, his ability to not process fatty foods very well. And so, you know, I believe that this is just one of those things, especially now with everything going on. I don't know about you, but I honestly don't want to go to a doctor. If something's wrong with me, I most certainly do not want to go into a hospital. I mean, I don't want to classify myself as like a germaphobe or anything like that, but I'm very mindful of where others are. And to me, this is a tool to just help be on the front lines and being proactive in our own health. And that's what I love. I believe that everyone should be their best advocate for their health. And this is yet another tool that I can add to my own personal toolbox that will allow me to take in account of what's going on with my body, what is going on inside, what can I do to be a little bit more proactive in my approach with my health. And so I love that this device is a small wearable device that anybody can use. It has actually been designed by, Time Waiver. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Time Waiver, and it's a German company that they specialize in this. And their specialty, they see clients and patients daily. I mean, thousands upon thousands of patients. And they've taken their $1,000 machines, big machines, and they've put them into this little wearable device. And they've made it so people like me, people like you, you are able to take their genius and their science and their technology, and you are able to apply it to yourself and apply it to others to help with your health. And I am just so thankful that it has come my way. You know, I am truly grateful that this little tiny device, it's only like, 2 inches by 2 inches. And it's, like this mighty thing in my life right now. And so I'm just very thankful to them. And like I said, Healy has just launched here in the United States, May 1st. So it's a very new company here. And I'm so excited. I've been on board with them since about March. And I've been so excited to talk about it, and just share, to share health, to share longevity. I want everyone to be mindful of, who they are and what they're doing with their health. And this little device, we are able to take it and we are able to be our best advocate, and we are able to look at our longevity in all of our lives, regardless of what age you are. And the most important part for me right now is the feeling of vitality. Like it is, I mean, you can clearly just, see it radiating. I mean, I'm just very excited about it.
One of the things I definitely want to point out is I used a system very similar to this. This is like that system on steroids. But what I constantly had to say to the people who would come to me every month wanting to be scanned was that it does not diagnose illnesses. It does not treat illnesses. What it does is help give your body its natural support that it needs. Like when we came out, we were healthy, and as we get older and we don't take as great care of our body, or it just starts the natural aging, things start to like slow down, break down. And this helps tell me what areas my body needs the most support in so that I'm able to focus on that. And if it's anything like this, the device I used before, I told them also, this is just a picture in this moment. Tomorrow, if something else is going on, it could be something else that's all of a sudden kicked up. So that's why I love that it's wearable, that you can do it often instead of like once a month or once every 6 months. I love that you can keep right on top of what your body's telling you it needs every single day. And the other thing I want to say is this does not mean if you're suffering from pain or something's going on that you don't reach out and see a doctor, because I too do not like doctors. I don't want to go there because it seems like every time I go there, I end up getting worse. And that's not their fault. It's just that that's how my body reacts to most medications and I get worse. But it's not in place of a doctor. If your body has pain, your brain is triggered to recognize pain as a warning to you. Something's not right. It's like you break your arm, right? It's telling you something's not right. You did something, you need help. So you don't want to ignore those warning signs of pain. That doesn't mean it needs to be medicated. It doesn't mean that when you go to the doctors, how many times has someone hurt their back and their doctor's like, there's nothing we can do. You just have to wait for it to start. It'll heal on its own. But yet you're still in pain and you know something's wrong. So these are great opportunities to know, how can I support my healing back? How can I support my healing organs? How can I support my aging cells? Like, how can I give my body that support? And I feel like I'm taking a ton of supplements, but I'm not feeling any better. Well, maybe my body isn't absorbing those supplements. And when I do this, it'll tell me like, hey, you're really needing this, or you're really needing that. And it gives me a blueprint on something I can easily do to help support my body on a daily basis. So do I have that right?
Oh, absolutely. And I 100% agree with you. And I want to just, if you are feeling pain and you have to go to the doctor, you have to go to the doctor. I mean, there's no substitute. This is definitely not a substitute for a doctor. And, you know, there are places for everything. And this is not a substitute for a physician when a physician is needed. So that is most certainly number one. But you're right, you know, when we are taking supplements, sometimes we don't actually even know if we should be taking a supplement. And, you know, I heard, you know, especially with vitamin C, I love vitamin C. I mean, I am not going to lie. I just love vitamin C. It's so good for you internally and for your skin. And, you know, I'm truly, if it's going to make my skin glow, I'm going to take it, you know, within reason. And so, but the thing is, you never know if you're taking the right amount, right? You know, someone once told me, well, when you start urinating and it's yellow, you've taken too much. It'll just get rid of itself. Well, why would I do that? You know, like, why would I want to take something that I know I'll just be eliminating? That's just ridiculous to me. It's just a waste of money. It's a waste of my time, and my body could be processing something else much healthier for it, right? So the thing I really enjoy about this and with the DNA program is it does help you go in the right direction when it comes to nutrition. And so it will guide you in that. And also with the regular, the scanning with resonance, it does have different properties. The different programs, like the Healy Gold is one of the standard editions. And it's like one of the platform, I guess you could say, that everything starts on. And one of the things that one of the programs, a lot of the programs do, is it actually will help your body to detoxify. And, I know detox sometimes gets overused because, you hear, well, that just means, a lot of people think that just means you will end up in the bathroom a lot. You have to detox. That's not necessarily the case. I mean, there's times where our skin needs to detox. We need to do a scrub where our, think about when you brush your teeth or use mouthwash. I mean, sometimes if you use an antiseptic, that's in a sense like you're detoxing your mouth. I mean, but if you put it that way, I mean, our body needs to eliminate in order to receive, right? If we can't just keep stuffing things in there. And we, of course, want good, healthy things in our body. And this is just another way to know, to eliminate and then to receive, the good through what we're eating, through good diet, through exercise, and just good nutrition.
So no magic pill, there's no magic pill here, but there is a way to stay on top of things. I'm absolutely ordering my Healy. We were just talking about this weekend because I have used something, like I said, very similar to this for 10 years now. And what it really has done for me, using it over a period of time, is it had made me very aware of my body and what's going on in it. So when there is even a subtle change, I recognize that right away. Like, why is this changing now? What's different? And then I find out what's different, and I'm able to give my body that support. So for those of you who don't know my story, like not having a stomach, I don't absorb nutrients, right? And I'll notice every once in a while, I'll start losing my hair a lot, or, my skin starting to look dry and not as elastic looking, because my body is just not getting those, the supplements that it needs to keep developing, to keep staying healthy. And so I would scan and see what it is I need, and I would start adjusting, because obviously I know that's not something I have to see a doctor about. So I start adjusting it, and then I do a scan again in like a week, and I notice everything starting to not only look better in the scan, but I can feel it better. I recognize it right away. So what it did for me is literally tuned me in to everything about me. And so when something starts to change, I notice those subtle changes right away, and I can get on top of them. It doesn't mean I'm going to live forever. I'm going to look 20, right? It just means that I'm going to thrive for a lot longer.
Right.
And I'm going to be able to support my body when it's telling me, look, I need more help with this. I'm beginning to need more this than before because I've got a lot more work.
Right, absolutely. And, that's so funny that you said that. I've had a full hysterectomy, and, that's part of my story, my hormonal story. And so I'm very aware of what my body is doing hormonally. And there will be times where if I get crabby, that's not normal for me any longer. It used to be in my past life. I call it my past life now because I can't believe what a difference, hormones make for your body. But, when my skin, I would call my physician and I would say, I think I need, my hormones need adjusted. And they would ask, why do you ask? Or why do you think that? I'm like, well, the only way to describe this is my skin looks old. And luckily, that's what he specializes in, is hormones. So he knows what I'm talking about. I might not be able to give him the technical term of what is going on in my body, but I can tell him, I don't care if I look like I'm 20 years old, but my body is showing me something. And it's my responsibility to pay attention, number one, and then to do something about it. And so just like you were saying, Jana, our bodies do tell us most of the time, when your hair is falling out, stop, pay attention, and let's figure it out why. And so I'm glad that this device is able to help us and to maybe pinpoint those areas as to why. It's our why
Really?
device.
Because there was a time I was able to process iron fine. If I ate meat, I got enough iron. If I grained vegetables, I got enough iron. And then as I got older, that was why my hair started falling out, because they're testing me for lupus, testing me for all these autoimmune diseases. And then they just did a normal blood test and found out that I was severely anemic, and I had been for a while, which causes hair loss, right? And the minute I was able to start absorbing, finding liquid iron that I could start absorbing, it went away. But that's what I watch for. If I'm like, wow, my hair looks thinner this month than it did last month, I need to check that, right? Why is it absorbing at one point and then all of a sudden it doesn't absorb as well? And that happens as our body slows down. It just starts to not receive all that beautiful nutrient as it did when we were younger or kids. So I love that you can do that with this machine. I love that you can stay ahead of the game. You can stay out of the hospital because you're keeping your body supported and healthy. And so where can people find you if they want to connect with you and learn more about Healy, learn more about your longevity coaching?
They can connect with me on my website at melissaleslie.com, through social media, Melissa Leslie. So I have my personal and my business, Melissa Leslie, of course. And then Melissa Leslie Vitality is my Facebook. And then on Instagram. And on Instagram, you can probably find my link tree there.
Perfect. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for sharing about that. Because I love science. I think it's fascinating. And when I can find something holistic that gives me a mirror into how my body is changing and I can stay ahead of that, I get so excited and I'm 100% in.
Yeah, absolutely.